Tanya.
Hi.
Hey, we finally meet.
Yeah, hi.
It's great to meet you. How do you pronounce your last name?
It's Rivilis.
Rivilis?
Rivilis. But you know, it's so funny because so many people call me so differently. Rivilis, Rivalis, Rivilis, so many stuff I've heard, but
Okay, one more
it's
time.
Rivilis.
You roll the R?
Yeah, it's because it's like very Slovenian, so you need to say it out loud with a lot of emotions, you know, so something like a lion.
Rivilis.
Rivilis, yes, with
Rivilis.
proud.
That's awesome. Slovenia, no joke. Where are you located now?
So first of all, it's my husband's surname. So just so we know, okay?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I think
But you have an
it's
accent as well. Where is your accent from?
oh, come on. I try to hide it. Why you need to?
You're not
Okay,
doing a
I
great
have
job.
it. I know. Oh, yeah. Oh God. Okay.
So where are you
I
from?
so I was born in Ukraine, and then I
Okay.
moved to Moscow, and then to Germany. So I have a
Oh my
German
gosh.
citizenship for like 15 years. But as you see, you can leave Soviet Union, but Soviet Union will never leave you. So you will always have this little accent, although I'm not living there for quite a long time, but still.
No joke. Okay, that's what it is. So when did you move from Ukraine to Moscow?
I was around 7 or 8, something like
Okay.
that. Yeah.
So do you perceive yourself as more Ukrainian or more Russian?
Oh God, you know, it's such a difficult question. Whenever I don't know, like I'm sitting in restaurants, some random guy is asking where I'm from, and it's so difficult to reply. I have no idea actually. I think I lost the sense of home and
Yeah.
belonging to like a one country. I still feel like I'm from Soviet Union somehow. I don't know, like if it's an answer, but I changed so many countries already. I have a German citizenship, but I don't feel like German at all. I'm now living in Portugal, but I don't feel like Portuguese because I'm not even speaking like maybe a little bit Portuguese language. So it's so
Portugal now. So
difficult.
why are you going all over the place? Why Germany and then Portugal?
I killed a man. I'm
Yeah,
joking.
seriously, running from the law.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's a Slovenian type of joke. So um, no, it's just, you know, like, I don't know, it just life made me do this.
Yeah.
First, when I moved from Ukraine to Moscow, it was my mom's decision. Then moving to Germany was my own decision because I really wanted to study, you know, in Europe and live in Europe and just, you know another language, live in another culture, be close to all these countries that you can visit while you live in Europe, right? Like Italy,
Hmm.
France, go to museums. I don't know. And yeah, and then I just met my husband, and now I'm yeah living. Oh, and now we're in Portugal because you know ocean, wine, coffee. Come on, I think
So
it's
you went to
obvious.
Portugal just because you wanted to. There was nothing else drawing you there.
Yeah, actually, just you know, we always wanted to live somewhere closer to sea or ocean,
Hmm.
and we both are in that kind of work that we just need our computers and we can just travel. At some point, we spent every winter in Thailand for like 8 years in a row. We just went to Thailand. We did Thai boxing, and we
Hold
fell in
up, hold
love.
up, hold up. 8
Well,
years in a
well,
row. You look like you're 14.
oh my God, this is, I'm 39. Can you imagine? I'm
You're
so
how
close
old?
to being 40. I'm
You're
39.
39?
I know.
Stop. No freaking way.
I start sweating even. Oh my God, stop saying that. I'm blushing.
And the
Oh
blushing just makes you look younger.
oh my God.
No,
Okay, but
obviously
thank
I'm
you so
kidding
much.
at 14, but I thought I can honestly say, because people are usually just nice when they say you look young, but I honestly thought maybe 26, 27.
Oh wow.
I
Okay.
honestly thought
Yes.
that. That's insane. Man, you
Thanks.
got some good genes. They should do some experimenting on you. Figure out what
I don't
it
know.
is.
I think it's a light. I don't know if you noticed before you turn on the recording that I prepared light very kind of specifically. I put lights
I
everywhere
don't know,
just to
man.
look.
I do the same thing and I still look like this.
You look great. Come on.
I'll appreciate it. Geez, that's incredible. Wow. So how long have
Thanks.
you been married then?
For 14 years.
14 years. Wow. Do you have any
Yeah.
kids?
No,
No? Well, that makes it easier to
no.
bounce around the world, I guess.
That's definitely true. Yeah. And I
So,
think this is one of the secrets why I probably look younger, because I see my friends who have kids. Kids is a lot of work. It's you have kids, right?
yeah, my kids are grown.
You
Yeah.
see, you look younger. I even wouldn't think that you have like already
Well,
grown kids.
thanks. Yeah, my kids are all grown. It's crazy. I'm an old dude.
You know, age is just something that we have
It's
in
just
our
a
mind.
number
Probably.
until you
Yeah, this
die,
is
and then it matters.
exactly.
Geez, that's wild. Well, so okay, so what about the Portuguese thing? I mean, how do you even live there? Do you have like a work visa or something?
That's advantage of being in German citizenship, having German citizenship, because you're just in Europe, so you kind of can live wherever you want in Europe. Of course,
Oh,
it's, you know, for some point you need to do legalization or, you know, just find a address, or I don't know how you call it in when you just registrate your
yeah,
placement.
but Ukraine is Eastern Europe. Does that not give you the same benefits being Ukrainian?
No, you know, so the story is I was born in Soviet Union. So that time it was territory
Oh,
of Ukraine. So, but it was like, it was not a Ukraine or Russia. It was a one big, strong
oh,
country,
gotcha.
which just like in 98, I think, I hope. Yeah, and I had a Russian citizenship before I switched to German, but now I have a German citizenship. So
No
it
kidding.
makes it easier, even to
Yeah,
travel to UK or States.
man, that's great. I just barely got to
Yeah.
Europe for the first time a couple months ago.
Oh, where you been?
I went to London and Paris and then Yorkshire, and it was great. It was awesome. I mean, I've been to Israel too. That's the only two places, or only places I've been.
Hmm. Oh,
So,
not many places you visited, right?
no, I'm not much of a traveler. I just sort
Okay.
of like I love my little cocoon, which is my studio.
Yeah,
I don't like to
that's
leave
why
it.
I'm here.
Yeah, and it's a cool
Hiding.
studio.
Thanks.
We got to get a bigger view of it here. Let's see. Yeah, I love the palm frond that you've got on the wall there. It's so tropical.
I know my husband is just saying, stop finding all the trash and garbage on the floor and just bring it to studio. And I'm like, no, I will bring what I want because this is my place. I feel like, you know, this is the best. Another best place in the world is actually like a studio in Germany. So I
Mm-hmm.
have like a house there. We have a house and I have a little room, which was my first ever studio because you know, I'm not painting for a long time. So I didn't have many studios. But this and my German studios are my best place in the world.
You still have your German studio?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Do you go
Yeah.
back and forth, or is it just sort of sitting there not being
Uh,
used?
well, now, you know, before we lived like half year here, half year there.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like, it feels like we're going towards Portugal and we're staying here longer and longer and longer. So we're probably going to switch to Portugal at some point. It's just so nice here. You should visit Portugal, definitely.
I want to visit Portugal. In fact, when we were in Yorkshire, we were with Simi with workshops in Yorkshire. Are you familiar with her and her company?
Mm, no,
Okay,
not
well, she
sure.
does workshops. I think it's called workshops in Yorkshire. Simi, forgive me if I got that wrong. But I was just doing a workshop with her, and I found that when I was in London and Paris, my wife was with me, and she felt the same way. When we were in London and Paris, it just, I don't know, it was like, it was cool, but I don't like sightseeing. Like
Okay.
I'm not one to just see all the sights. I want to be in the place with the people. And I realized that
Hmm.
because once I got to Yorkshire and we're living more or less living with Simi in Yorkshire, then it was cool. Then it was like we felt like we were part of the community for a week, and it was like you just walking around the town and not necessarily doing all the tourist stuff. And Simi
Right.
said, oh, what you need to do if you really like that is just rent some kind of a cottage in Portugal or something. She literally said Portugal. And I'm like, oh, that sounds so good. Like, I
You should.
totally got to
You
do
should.
that.
I will
Yeah.
recommend you a couple. There are so many nice places. You know what I like in Portugal is that it's kind of it's amazing country. It's so different from north to south. You can
Hmm.
like literally visit so different kind of, you have different kitchen, you different like cultural backgrounds. People are from north are so different from people from south. Although the country is not that big, you can drive. I'm exactly in the middle, so I'm like somewhere next to Lisbon, just 30 minutes from Lisbon, and I
Hmm.
have like 4 hours to the north and kind of like 3 hours to the south. But what I was saying, this is how my brain works. I'm so sorry. What I was
I
saying.
should get a villa or a
Yeah,
cottage out
yeah,
there. Yeah.
exactly.
So
So
how are
if
the
you
people
plan,
different from north to south? Is it
so
cultural or?
it is cultural, exactly. So for example, in Norse, people are cursing a lot. They are just saying bad words like every 5 seconds.
Really?
Yeah, it's just amazing. It's kind of like their language, you know. While in South are people more kind of fancy because it's more, I don't know, like rich area for fancy British, people living there. We're in somewhere in the bit in between, so it's kind of like, we're not cursing a lot. Why I'm saying
You
we're
swear
probably.
about half the time?
Yeah, but I use, it's funny, I use so many languages to swear. I do it quite often because I'm a very emotional person. And here in Portugal, I start playing tennis, and my trainers, they're just like begging me stop cursing because I'm doing it in 5 languages, like, and
Do you
I
seriously
just,
know five? You know Portuguese as well?
no, 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 no. I know bad words in many languages, just that.
That's hilarious. But do
Yeah,
you
I
know
know.
Portuguese?
Un poco. So it's just, I just started learning, but I have like German, English, Russian, Ukrainian. I was in
Dude,
some
that's
point learning
amazing.
Japanese. I really love Japanese language. Mm.
That's amazing. I don't think I have the brain power to learn another language.
You
I
have it.
oh man, I don't know. It's tough. Like I've said this
It's
before
tough.
to other people who speak other languages on the podcast, but I can't even recall English words half the time. I don't know how I would ever get the vocabulary down for another language. That amazes
Yeah.
me that you know four languages. Dang.
I
Unbelievable.
wouldn't say I know them perfectly. Like German, for example, I always need to read and talk again just to remember the language, because language is kind of like, it's that very flexible, active, it's active saying. You have to use it to know it.
Yeah.
So yeah, English I'm using the most. That's why it's kind of fluent and it's easier for me to kind of read books and talk. But German is like, oh, it will
Yeah.
take some time to remember.
Yeah, geez. Oh, I'm impressed. So I am so excited to have you on the show because you, to this day, might be one of my most excited guests. Like when I reached out to you, you were so excited and I was so
I know,
flattered.
yeah. I am. That's
I
just,
was like, thank you
that's my
so much. It made my
nature.
day. It made my day.
But I really love your podcast. I mean,
Thank
like,
you.
when I saw that you wrote me, and I was like really flattered and honored because I'm watching your episodes. Like I love one with Ivan Loganov, which were like kind of not long time ago. Nicholas Uribe, Hollis Dunlop, so many awesome artists were at your podcast. So it's a privilege. So thank you so much for inviting me.
Well, you've got amazing work. That's the requirement in my mind.
Oh, thanks.
Based on my opinion, obviously. But yeah,
Right.
your work is absolutely
You have a
remarkable.
good taste,
Well,
sir.
thank you. I think so. I think so. Yeah, your work is remarkable. So I'm anxious to hear all about you. Obviously, we've gotten a little bit of background on you, but let's focus it more on the art. I'm curious about during your travels and whatnot, how art was, part of your life and how you ended up becoming a full-time artist. I'm assuming, wait, I shouldn't assume.
Yeah.
Are you a full-time
Uh-huh.
artist? Okay.
I am. I am.
Because not all my guests are. So I probably
Yeah.
shouldn't assume that.
It's very difficult to be a full-time
It is.
artist. It is. Yeah, when people say like something like, okay, I'm gonna quit my main job and be an artist, what do you think about? And I'm like, you should see it as a movie scene that in slow motion, I'm running from far away, screaming, no, like something like that. So it's really difficult thing. Especially when people have kids, I have no idea how they find time to paint and be in their studios. I really have no idea. Female artists who have kids are my heroes for sure.
I
Like,
agree, 100%.
yeah, it's such a challenge. Um, in my case, I mean, like, I don't have kids, so I have, all my time. I can be here. The problem is that, even if I have all my time, I'm not painting all the time. That's a problem because I procrastinate a lot.
Hmm.
But recently, I found out that it's not that bad. It's kind of your brain needs some time to figure out stuff and proceed your emotional blah blah blah. So I'm like, I just think, okay,
What are your
it's an
vices?
excuse.
What are your
Mm.
vices that keep you from painting? I'm just curious
Um,
because I have a lot of them, and I'm just wondering what some of yours are. Other than the obvious, we all struggle with like being on our phones and stuff,
Oof,
and
I know, I
that's the
hate it.
worst. I know. But other than that, do you have any other distractions that you sort of go
Oh,
to?
yeah. So, like I live next to my studio. So we live in downtown in Setúbal. It's a little fisherman village, very historical, very beautiful. And I have a little ritual when I go to the studio, although it's just 10 meters, I just need to turn, like I love to grab a coffee. But the problem in a small town, and you talk about this being part of the community and stuff, is that I just go to grab a coffee and then I meet like 20 people on the way to take a coffee and back, and I have a small talks with each of
That
them.
sounds amazing.
I know, right? But at some point you just like, okay, so I wake up pretty early. I wake up 7:38. So I'm good here. I'm good, discipline. Then I'm just like, okay, wake up, breakfast, going to the studio, going to grab my coffee, meeting 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 people, talking with everyone. Okay, it's already 10:30. I'm going to the studio. I'm sitting in my studio, like on the sofa. I start watching, like looking at all my paintings, what to do, make a plans. And then I see it's already 12. I don't know how it happens. I just, blacked out or something like that. And then it's a lunch, and lunch is super important. So I go to lunch. And
Haven't
yeah,
even
that
touched
is,
the painting yet.
I know that's a problem. And after lunch, there is another ritual to drink a coffee. So yeah, I come to studio around 2, I should say.
And how late do you work?
Um, I have tennis trainings, so I work till like 5 or something like that, and then I have a tennis, and then I have some dinner, and then I go back to studio. But I try to go to bed early because I have sleeping disorders, something like that. So I need to be in the bed around 10:30 maximum. Yeah,
Wow. Dang, I have a sleeping disorder too. That's a bummer. Man, when you don't get enough
yeah.
sleep, that wrecks your day.
I didn't know that. Now I know it's actually
Yeah.
very bad for your health. This is like one of the most important thing in your life that you have to really take care of sleep.
Hmm. Dang, I am jealous of your town. That sounds amazing. So while
You
I'm
should
scrolling, oh, I want
visit
to.
Setúbal. I would love to show you around. Just make a plan, rent a little villa, whatever. If it's out of the season, it's so affordable. Um,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, we're
live
gonna
in
do
the
that.
woods with the ocean view, whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm seriously gonna do that at some point. That sounds amazing. But I mean, to live in a place like that where, I mean, I get out of my house in the morning, my neighbors don't talk to each other. Like we don't, I never see
That's
my
sad.
neighbors, never see my neighbors. And then, I mean, obviously, occasionally I do. When I say never, I'm obviously speaking in general terms. But
Hmm.
um, leave the studio or leave the house, drive to the studio, open the door, get in. That's it. I'm locked out from the world for the rest of the day. And then I open the door, get back in the car, go drive to my house, locked out from the world. And so it's
Yeah.
house studio, house studio, house studio, house studio.
Hmm.
So I can't even imagine what that would be like to walk to the studio and see people you know and just have a
Yeah.
nice conversation every morning. That's a blessing. That's amazing. I mean, I
Yeah.
know it sucks that it distracts you. I get all that,
Yeah,
but
bit, yeah. But
yeah,
when you say about this, I feel like, oh my God, I'm actually very lucky.
you
But
are.
sometimes it is really destructive, when I want to go to the studio and I'm like, okay, today is a day of discipline. I'm going to the studio at 9 and I will start painting. And then even if I don't want to grab a coffee and I'm going straight to studio, but then our neighbors, a lovely Portuguese grandma, she started gossiping with me about our neighbors, and she does it in Portuguese that I'm like 90% I don't understand, but I need to do like this all the time. Just be nice because she's lovely. So yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, you need to get a coffee maker. If you want to get to the studio, just get yourself a coffee maker for
I
crying out
have
loud.
two.
Well, so you're choosing these distractions then. You've got no excuses.
But the coffee outside is more delicious than
Why
inside. You
is
know
it
that? It's like,
why is it always better when someone makes food for you?
but it is better.
I don't know
And
why that is. I can't even a sandwich. You could just put the cheese between two pieces of bread, and if someone does it for me, somehow it tastes better. I don't know what it is.
true, true.
All right, so back to your life. So your childhood. I'm
Uh-huh.
curious. Were you always an artist?
No, no, I just, I started painting when I was 27, which is like not long time ago. I know I
Really?
thought you saw my story or,
No, no,
did
no.
some
I don't.
research.
I only look at the art. I don't. I
Oh,
actually
cool.
make it a point to not research my artists.
That's smart.
Well, because
Yeah,
I don't. I
to be
want to learn about
surprised.
you here, so everyone else can learn about you here. Otherwise, it's just like tell me what I already know. You know what I mean? It's like, what's the point?
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't
Yeah,
know. This is news to me.
yeah. Yeah, so I didn't go to art schools or anything like that. I mean, like I was kind of always creative, in a way, just red hair, weird dresses or something like that for some period.
Hmm.
And I actually wanted to be an architect because architecture was like, something that fascinated me from the very beginning. But I was never connected to art, and not any of my family member were connected to art or something like that. And I grew up actually, in a small village. There were no museums. When we moved to Moscow, there were some museums, but I was not interested in going to museum until I was kind of like in school. Some like 15 years old or something like that. So I don't know from where it came. I have one kind of theory why it started, why it's all started. So I wanted to be an architect, and I already applied to the university, but then my mom started crying, saying that please don't be an architect because she saw the students carrying a huge boards. You remember that time there were no computers or something like that. Nobody
Hmm.
like a good architect had to do everything by hand. So he or she had to do like every drawing by the hand on a huge board. So
Hmm.
when my mom saw these poor students with glasses, because of course it affects your eyes as well and your health, and she just started begging me not to be an architect because she said
Hmm.
like it's gonna be a really miserable life. um, I don't know if she was right or not, but she asked me to choose some job that would bring me money, would like be kind of modern and easy to have some income. So I've chosen to be a media designer, something like with computers, 3D animation, like design and all this stuff. And I went there.
And your
But we
mother
had,
was more. She was happier with that decision.
yeah, yeah, she
See, to
was.
me, it seems
You,
like an architect is the safer route.
Yeah, probably not in Russia.
Oh, okay.
Um, First, competition is very, like it's like there are a lot of good professionals,
Oh, okay.
and country is huge. So to be good, you have to be the best.
Hmm.
To have
Hmm.
some nice income and stable job and stuff like that. So it was, and also it's very hard. Like to be an architect, you have to learn 6 years, then you have to apply for some job, then you need to do the practice somewhere, blah blah blah. All this is kind of taking a long time. And while you're studying, you cannot do any freelance jobs or some projects aside. Maybe you can, I'm not sure, because I didn't become an architect. But with design, it was so much easier. You know, some beauty salon wanted a logo, voila. Some, I don't know, like a visiting card, business card, something like that. It was easy kind of to earn money with that small projects.
Mm-hmm.
And that also allowed me to go to Germany, because if I would have a stable job in office, that would be a problem to just leave the country. But because I was a freelancer, so I could just easily, you know, choose the university, apply my documents, and go to Germany.
So that's what you ended up doing. You ended up becoming,
Exactly.
okay. So then what? How did that evolve into painting?
Yeah, and you know, like in the university, I had art history as a like extra. You know, we could choose some extra knowledge. So I've chosen art history, and I was like, really, it was my first time when I was so fascinated and so wanted to dig deep into this field and learn more about the artist and genres and all this stuff. And then when I applied to German university, and I went to Germany because one university invited me, and I'm trying to remember how to make it logically into a nice sentence. So yeah, okay, I went to Germany. Let's do like this. And in Germany, I was completely alone. I was a freelancer. My parents are not rich, so I had to work every day to pay for my, you know, apartments and train tickets, wherever you have to do there. And I was super alone, like for almost a year. Like there were no friends because I was busy with my freelance project, and I couldn't go and hang out with people, you know, like normal
Oh, that must
students
have been
do.
lonely.
Yeah, it was a little bit, but I knew that it worth it. You know, I knew that I'm working for something. First of all, I'm working to be in Europe and to study in a good university, and also to have a better future probably.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I knew just that. And also, you know, I'm not super social person. It looks like I'm very open and talkative and everything, and it's true. I really love to kind of express myself and be open and honest, but at some point I just need to be alone. I don't know if you probably have the same, because you're going to the studio and you're just hiding there from the rest of the world, right? So you
Yeah.
know this feeling of being kind of alone in your own space with your own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And then when, like, you know, my study was almost finished, and I was supposed to go back to Moscow, and I was already, you know, some job was waiting for me there. And then I met my future husband accidentally,
In
absolutely
Germany?
accidentally, in Germany. Yes. Yeah, and I stayed in Germany. So that's the end of the story. Oh no, it's not the end. Wait, it's just the beginning.
Well, okay, first of all, what does your husband do and why was he in Germany?
Yeah, so whew, you're asking very difficult questions. my even my jar is in pain already. Um, when I talk so much, you know, last time. Oh, probably at the workshop. Okay, so now I remember why
You
it's
can
in
handle
pain.
it. It's just 2 hours.
Oh God, wait.
We got an hour and a half left about.
Okay, my husband. So he went to Germany a long time ago, like for, you know, when he was 18.
Okay.
And he stayed there. So yeah, and he was working there. So and we met at the club, which was like pretty stupid place to meet. And I'm not going to clubs. I'm not a club person, but somehow everything happened, and just, you know, it's a destiny. So what can
Mm-hmm.
I do against the destiny?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and we met, and he suggested me to stay with him, and I felt that was the way it should be. So yeah, I went to Moscow, and I came back, and we started living together.
Okay.
I'm trying to say the story, you know, like I squeeze the story so it's not gonna be too long and too boring for people. So that's why I try to say it fast.
No, it's not going to be boring. People love learning about other people, I think. Yeah.
I think this part of my life is quite a boring part.
All right, if you say so.
I don't know.
If you say so. But I am curious what your husband does.
I've been doing Jeff's online mentorship program for about a year now, and it is awesome. Everything is online, super streamlined. If you can be there, I mean, you have the ability to talk to him once a week and he can review your work and help you. If you can't be there, it's pre-recorded. You can go back and even re-watch things if you missed something during class or couldn't be there. So the online portion of it is almost better than real life because you can always go back to it, which is awesome. The demos are recorded. It's just like all available whenever you need it. And I'm a stay-at-home mom of 4 and my time is limited and it's also very interrupted. And so to be able to go back has been clutch for me. And you get to work with Jeff HEIN, who's awesome. He's tough. The assignments are simple, but difficult, and they're difficult to make us all better. And he's able to give us these assignments, coach us through it, help us stay excited to progress. And so it's just been a great experience. I am so grateful that he has been willing to take time away from his own art to offer all of us to have it. So if you're thinking about doing it, it's amazing.
To learn more about how you could have me as a personal mentor, check out the link to HEINatelier.com in the show notes or video description.
So at that time, he was a media designer.
Oh, so you did the same thing.
Yeah, sometimes I have a joke. I mean, like right now, I'm a full-time artist, but before when we married, there was some joke between us is that he married me just to pay less because, you know, you have a co-worker and plus, you know, she's cleaning the house and making the food. So you kind of,
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That's funny. So is he still doing that now?
Yeah, that and also crypto investment and some property business. So he's kind of like smart guy, and he's also a rational and pragmatic part of our family because I'm the one who is like, you know, I'm painting. Here's my drawing. Do you like it? And he's like counting money, you know, doing all the business, all the taxes and stuff. So
that's good. That's a good fit.
Yeah, that's true. And he's my best friend as well. So we're kind of like a good team.
That's awesome. Love to hear that. Okay, so now how did you get into painting?
Okay,
I mean, if there's something if there's something that you want to share before you get to how you got into painting, do it. But I am genuinely curious how this evolved into painting.
Yeah. So like when we start living together, so despite the 1 year of being alone, I had few friends, you know, just meeting for coffee once in a while. But when we start living with Leo together, his name is Leo, we moved to a new apartment and there was no internet. It was super cold. The landlord forgot to switch on the heater, so we were like freezing. It was very depressive. You can imagine Germany, November, rain, monochromatic background. So like everything you can imagine depressive was there. And we were working together. We were going to sport together. But at some point, Leo just asked me like, do you want to do something for your, you know, like some hobby, something that you love to do? And I said, well, I always wanted to try to paint with oils. And we went to art supplies and bought some oils and canvases and brushes. And I started doing it with a small brush by copying some old masters and watching YouTube videos. And and I was like around 27 that time. And that's how I slowly started kind of being more familiar with the technique. And then I decided, okay, it's time to go to workshop to learn some more. And I went to like 3 workshops and then to Ivan Loganov's workshop.
Who were the other artists that you studied with?
Yeah, so it was David Gray, amazing artist, a lovely person. We went jogging around the Bruges. It was in Belgium, in Bruges. Then I went to Robert Liberace, also in Bruges, in the same school. And then I went to Florence to Cesar Santos. And that was my 3 workshops.
Okay.
And then I went to St. Petersburg to learn from Ivan Loganov. And I don't know if you noticed, probably, I don't know if you saw his face before having a podcast with him. You probably saw, right? Like on Instagram or something.
I mean, I've followed him for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So like, imagine that you never saw his face, right? His art looks like it's a, it's a pretty old dude painting,
Yeah.
right? Because his technique and level is so high. So you never imagine, like, and when I met him, he was like 22 or 23, something like that.
Wow.
And I didn't see his face. And I went to St. Petersburg to a private workshop with him. I entered the room, and there was like a young boy because right now he has a mustache and the beard, and he looks more serious. But that time he was like a student, and I saw like, okay, I'm here to have a workshop with Ivan Loganov. And he said, I'm Ivan Loganov. And I was like, shut up, like it's impossible. There was a young boy standing in front of him. It was so great. But now we're good friends, and he's visiting us in Portugal, in Germany. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, he's something else.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
And he's a great teacher as well. I was, like all stuff that he taught me during this 5 days workshop, like we had 3 hours per day. We painted from life, and it was 5 days. And it just blew my mind. I mean, like everything I learned from, it was like a classical traditional oil painting techniques. And he showed me something else. He showed me that, you can do, he showed me something about the freedom, and your choices, and that you can decide what composition there will be and where you want to cut, and use your fingers, use the palette knife, use the pen brush, like all this, just, like it was so much information, just, yeah.
So of all those 4 teachers, did you name 4 or 5? I don't remember now. 4?
Yeah, 4.
Was he the one that had the most impact on you?
I think so. Yeah, definitely, Ivan. Ivan, you need to pay me for the advertisement. I do for him this every time I have a podcast record or something like that. He knows I love him. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't need any help. He's doing just fine.
Definitely.
He
I know. Yeah, he has so many workshops. Oh my God, he travels around the world, but he's such an amazing person as well. Very deep, although he looks very, like serious, but he's emotional, and he's a great guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I knew him better. Maybe someday. Yeah.
Yeah, when you will visit Portugal, probably.
Yeah,
does he come?
Often? He does come there often? Really?
Yeah, I mean, like in Porto, he has like workshops time after time.
Oh, I gotta time it right.
Yeah. Oh, you just come and he will visit us. So
yeah, that would be a nice plan. That'd be amazing. Oh, so man, did you ever when you were taking those 4 workshops, or even further back, did you ever think that this would lead to a professional career? Or was it always just, I just want to get better at painting?
I think it was just my time, after the main job, I just had my time. It was amazing to have your own space with your own music, your atmosphere. And I just fell in love with that feeling of doing something you love, exploring, learning. But I never thought it will be a full-time job. Like I would never if you will tell me this like 7 years ago or 10 years ago, I would say like, oh, shut up, like it's impossible. First of all, like my level at that time, it didn't allow me even to have such thoughts about being a full-time artist, because I just began, so everything was with a small brush. I was so afraid of every movement. I did a lot of smudging, like my surfaces, like the face or skin was so soft and smudged and dry and like no life. And look at me now, I'm just like, yeah, it was like a big brush, yes, why not? The shadow with one color, boom, something. Yeah, this one is already like with acrylics and oils, everything's together, just, yes, bright. And I don't know, drugs. I'm joking. No drugs.
I definitely see the Russian influence though in this. The boldness that few artists get outside of Russia. There's something about the Russian artists that they just have this boldness of brushwork and color, and it's remarkable. And you've definitely adopted that. There's no doubt.
Oh, I like the first copies that I did were from the movement that, I don't know, you translated, передвижники, the guys who moves. I forgot the word, but Loganov talked about this artist for sure. But anyway, it's Repin, Serov, Korovin, like all this guy. I'm rereading the diary of, oh my God, where's the camera? Yeah, like Korovin. It's really nice to know Russian in this way, because something like Repin book and Korovin, some books are only in Russian, they're not translated, which is like really horrible thing, because if all artists would read their memoirs and diaries, it would be amazing. I mean, like, they wrote so much. And also it's kind of like exotic the way they lived before, in Russian Empire, and it was interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm envious. I've got a couple Russian books. I think I have a Russian anatomy book. Come to think
it's
of it,
pretty good. Yeah,
and
it's very good.
I can't read it, obviously, but I just have it for the pictures. But who am I kidding? Most of my books, I just look at the pictures anyway, even the English ones.
Yeah, I understand you, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so did you at any point, or when did you, I should say, because it's obvious you have an aptitude because of how far you've come in such a short time. When did you realize you had an aptitude for this?
I think when I got the first message from the gallery, probably something like
Are
that.
you serious? That late?
Oh, wait, why it's late? Oh, tell me again the question. I probably didn't understand correctly.
Aptitude, like that you had a talent for this, because you became quite proficient at this so quickly. So clearly it came relatively easy to you as compared to other, you might not see it that way, but it, there's a lot of artists that study for a lot of years and never become very good. Right?
Yeah. And I feel guilty for this, believe me.
But because it's hard, painting is hard. I always say it's the hardest thing that I've done or do, as far as crafts are concerned. And so a lot of people never achieve the expertise that you've achieved in just, what'd you say, you were 27, now you're 39 in just 12 years. And honestly, you've probably been at this level for 5 to 7 years.
I hope so. I mean, like, it's always evolving and getting better.
So 5 or 6 years, in 5 or 6 years, you went from, hey, I should get a hobby, to I'm ready to start a professional career. And that's with only 4 workshops. That's not going to an atelier.
I should talk with my therapist about this, because I again feel guilty when
Why would you feel guilty?
This. I'm like, I don't know. It's just this shitty. Am I allowed to say bad words?
It's too late. You just ruined the whole podcast.
Oh. Okay.
That's hilarious. No, okay. I don't care. It's fine.
Okay. Right.
Why do you feel bad about it? Because you've been blessed with talent? You feel bad about that?
I don't know. It's just such a stupid thing. I don't know. I don't know how you call it. It's probably not an imposter syndrome, because imposter syndrome is something deep, and it's like people who have imposter syndrome, it's even worse. But I somehow feel all the time guilty for being somehow lucky in some points, or probably achieving something faster than people who went to art schools and like studied for like 12 years or whatever. I don't know, it's some psychology problem that I have. It just, the funny thing is that I physically have kind of like, not a pain, but it's teeth and here in my jaw. So it's that mental. Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's so stupid, I know. And I kind of like try to work on this, and I go to therapy and I try to figure out what's the problem with me, but I don't know.
Like literally you go to a therapist to figure out why you feel guilty about succeeding in art?
Yes.
No, stop. You're kidding.
Yeah, it's mental. I know. But
Sorry.
it's just so stupid, like I myself now
Can you believe how
have worked.
unprofessional I am? Let me turn off my phone.
Oh my God.
This is
Go to
terrible.
your room.
I know, seriously. Oh
Punished.
man. So
Um,
that's crazy. Like no, you're not crazy. I don't want you to go to your therapist the next session and be like, Jeff told me I was crazy. Am I crazy?
and it's recorded, so I have a proof. So
No, but I've I've never felt guilty about it. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I'm the one who
no,
needs a
no, 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 no,
therapist.
no. It's definitely not something wrong with you. I think it's just, sometimes I just compare myself. Probably that's a problem. You don't need to compare. Everyone, my therapist says, everyone has, I'm not sure how it's grammatically correct, but everyone has their own path, right? So
Right.
they have their own way, and you cannot affect or help or, change everyone's like destinies in life. So, and I try to think about this. Okay, this is my way, and I was probably blessed and lucky to get something probably faster than other talented artists, and I don't know. It just something with my head. I just sometimes feel guilty, and when I'm saying something good about myself, I feel kind of guilty that I'm probably, sound arrogant or something. If I'm saying bad about myself, I feel immediately guilty for some. Well, anyway, it's just probably it was a stupid idea even to start this topic, because now it sounds like we're on the therapy, and
No,
people
but
will think I'm a
I
mentally
don't
sick
know.
artist.
I don't know. I think this is a great topic because I think most of us are mental. Most of us creatives are pretty mental in some way or
Yeah,
another.
yeah,
But it
for
is
sure.
fascinating. It reminds me of a conversation I had between my brother, my mom, and myself,
Mm,
where my mom, I grew up quite poor, like a lot of people, and we didn't have anything. I remember one time, and this may be trivial to someone who grew up the way you did. I don't know how you grew up, but so forgive me if I sound like a baby here, but like we were on food stamps for a time.
mm.
We never had rarely had anything new. It was always hand me downs. I remember one time asking for a quarter so I could get a chocolate milk, and my mom saying, I literally don't have a quarter. You cannot have a quarter. I'm like, Mom, it's a quarter. I literally don't have a single quarter. Um, and we were raised in a certain way because of that. And when my brother started to get to a point where he was doing quite well, he was buying some nice things like watches and so on. And he's not the only one. It just happened to be that he's the one that is part of the story. And my mom said something to the effect of, I don't remember all the details, but it really doesn't matter. But for some reason, there was a discussion coming up as to whether or not people should buy expensive watches, right?
Mhm.
And my brother's argument was if we didn't buy expensive watches, we wouldn't have great watchmakers.
Mm.
And
Interesting
and
point of
I
view.
and I agree with him 100%. If people didn't spend a lot for paintings, we wouldn't have great artists because they wouldn't be able to survive. So that's not exactly what your issues are coming from is money, I don't think. But
Hmm.
I think the point that I'm trying to make is that the fact that you discovered that you have this talent is nothing to feel guilty of. It's a gift to the rest of us. Like if you hadn't decided one day to become or to learn how to paint, then none of us would have ever been blessed with your work.
Right.
Does
Okay.
that make sense? And so
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
me, it's
Definitely.
like feel guilty. You're literally contributing to our culture, to the world culture
Yeah.
by giving of yourself and exploring your creative talents. And I don't know, it's a huge blessing, not just to you, but to everybody. That's how I look at it. Whenever I support a creative person, that's how I look at it. It's like,
Mm.
God, anything to keep them doing what they do, like, because they're a gift to society.
That sounds so lovely and kind. And like with my rational part of the brain, I totally understand that. And I mean, like, if I, it's just so difficult. I don't know. It's just something with me mentally or something. As you said, like you grew up with, not having much. And that was the same, my story, like of my childhood. I grew up with my grandparents because my mom was working in Moscow. So she left me with the grandparents. And grandparents basically, you eat what is growing in your garden. So that's it. Like you don't have more. And even like I love condensed milk. I don't know, I will explain. I love condensed milk. It's just because, the condensed milk, this metal jar, like of condensed milk you can buy. It was my birthday gift. So imagine, like once in a year, you have the condensed milk.
Okay,
and
you
I'm
win.
now
You're way poorer than I was. I kind of figured,
Hey,
being Russian, that you wouldn't relate to my level of poverty, but
it's Soviet Union, and it was
Yeah.
end of Soviet Union. The times were really bad.
Yeah.
I remember my mom sent me back to Ukraine to grandparents. I think it was actually the year when the Soviet Union just collapsed, and there was like no money to buy food. So my grandma sent me as 5 or 6 years old kid by the train one day at the train. So she just put me on the train, said to a lady, please take care of this girl. And I'm one day in the train alone until the Ukraine, and grandparents took me from the other end. And she sent me just so I survive, because it was a year when people couldn't buy food and they were really like starving. And grandparents had garden, so they could at least have some potatoes, tomatoes, and stuff like that. So it was tough times. I think everyone who grew up in Soviet Union and that time 90s, they know what I'm talking about. So I don't know, it just probably just because you grew up in such environment, you kind of, when you start having something, you kind of feel a little bit that you don't deserve it. I don't know, probably it's a mental stuff, psychology. If any psychologists hear this right now, please send me a message. But it probably just, you feel kind of guilty for having something because you remember that people didn't have anything. So it's yeah. Oh my God! Now our episode
No,
is
this is
depressing.
good, man. I'm glad I brought this up. You know how I think about this? First of all, I'm so glad I brought up my so-called poverty, because I kind of figure if you grew up in the Soviet Union, mine would look ridiculously rich compared to the way you grew up.
I'm sure your time was also tough.
Well, that's the thing.
It's all about comparing.
But it wasn't though. It really wasn't, because we didn't know we were poor. But
you didn't get a milk chocolate. This is disaster.
Seriously. No, but I grew up so happy. But the thing is, it's the only reason I bring it up is because of the difference between the mentality of my little brother, who raised a family under upper middle class with those means of an upper middle class family, and as opposed to my mother, who was lower middle class. There's just a difference. Just a difference in the way they look at the world, right? But you said something that gave me a thought that, this idea that you feel guilty about having success and being given this skill and be able to become an artist. I've thought about that myself, and because I feel very, very fortunate, and I'm also a religious person. And so a lot of people that come from a religious perspective, they often say blessed, as though it came from above. I'm not disagreeing with that, but I avoid that phrase because I deal with a certain guilt. Like, why would I be blessed and not someone else, right? Like, what makes me so special that I should be blessed and not them? So I avoid the word blessed and I say fortunate. And that's not to discredit. Now, I'm speaking for me, obviously. I don't know where you stand, but that's not to discredit what I believe in God and how he's part of our lives. But it's to say that I don't use that terminology because I feel I can't reconcile that why someone would be blessed and someone else wouldn't be, right?
Right.
But one of my pet peeves is maybe the polar opposite, when an artist says that when they feel they deserve something because they worked hard, right? And then I think about all the people that no matter how hard they work will never have anything. Right. And so there's a group of people that are like, I deserve this because I earned it. I deserve X because I worked my ass off. I'm like, no, I got news for you. There's some dude who's paralyzed and he could work his ass off all day long and he's never going to get out of his chair and never going to get anything. So you don't deserve it. Why does you deserve it and he doesn't deserve it? That's where my guilt comes from. It's like, oh man, like none of us deserve anything we get. But with that said, my attitude is when someone like you comes along, and I even feel this way about myself at the risk of sounding arrogant, where much is given, much is expected. So the way I avoid the guilt is to support others, right? It's like, because dang, you've been given a lot. I've been given a lot. To be able to do what we love, and whether that comes from God or just good fortune or luck, either way, it's a gift, right? And it's like, dang, man. And so instead of feeling guilty about it, I'm like, okay, so some people will never have this, no matter how hard they work. So you got to make the best of it, right? Do what you can with the thing you've been given. That's kind of my perspective on it.
I feel like I need to pay you after this session.
Am I helping you?
Yeah. It's just like a therapist. I'm like,
I know. That's because
I
need a therapist. So I've become my own therapist. Yeah,
but I definitely, I totally agree what you're saying. And maybe it's a great idea to change the word blessed to fortune. So I will definitely use that. I will try to translate so it will suit my, language in my head probably, but it's a great idea. It just, sometimes when I see retrospectively, the way from the very beginning to right now, I feel that I know that it's hard work behind this. And of course, I'm feeling that I did a lot of myself to be where I am right now. But sometimes I just felt that something, I don't know what God's, any powers of the universe, but something lead me into one way or another, so I was in the right place. I talked with the right people. I probably, sometimes I was probably more brave to talk with someone that, get some connections, something like that. So I still feel there are some luck in all this. I don't know.
Yeah. So my son just started a handyman business. So I was a handyman when I was in college because I'm generally good with my hands. So I thought, okay, how can I earn money without getting a job? Because while I'm good with my hands, I have severe ADD where if someone tells me something to do and I'm not interested, I can't focus. I literally just will wander off somewhere, I could tell you stories. It's really pitiful. So I've always been self-employed for that reason. So I said to my son, I was like, Chase, I've got all this equipment. I've got all these tools. Why don't you become a handyman while you're studying with me? Because he wants to be a painter. And I said to him, and the beauty of the thing that you have that a lot of people don't have is, and this sounds terrible, but you have a nice face, meaning you just look trustworthy. You just have a look about you. Maybe it's because he is trustworthy. So it kind of comes out, he exudes it. And you're very personable. And so I said, make sure you put your face on your business card and make sure you meet potential clients face to face as much as possible. Oh my gosh, he's getting work so fast. And I'm 100% sure that's a huge part of it.
It is
because becoming a good artist is one thing, but there's so much to just being a decent person when you approach the world with your art. Because people are going to love your art even more if they love the creator of the art. And
that's true. That's true.
It is true. And I think that's probably why you've had, that's not the only reason why your work stands on its own.
No, but you're absolutely right. That's why I feel like sometimes probably guilty just because it's not a part that I was working hard on,
No, it's another one of those gifts.
Parents.
Right. It's another one of those gifts that you've got. You've been blessed with a personality. I mean, you've got a great personality, which I'm sure has carried you a long way. Again, I'm not to discount your work. You're on the podcast because I love your work. But my gosh, your
Oh my God,
personality
I
has
will
helped
try
a ton.
after the podcast.
Yeah. Your personality has
No,
had
but
to have helped a ton because you're so easy to talk to and personable.
easy peasy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's also like one of the parts. For example, I have friends who are super talented. They're like 10 times more talented and have better art than I do. But just they're introverts, let's say, right? Like they
Right.
are not big fans of talking with people, going out, having videos, stupid
Yeah,
reels
it's
and stuff like
challenging.
that. And nowadays, unfortunately, you have to be a face, like you have to show face to people. Like
Yeah.
your art is your art, but unfortunately, we have to be part of the marketing team, when we are like promoting our art. And I feel so sad that nowadays, like, you just need to kind of smile, talk, and it helps. Although there are more talented people who probably don't feel that comfortable as I do in front of the camera or talking with people. And that's
Yeah.
why I feel angry,
Is it just me or the rest of you guys also get weirdly excited when you order new paint? Because I don't know about you, but when I get paint in the mail, it feels like Santa just dropped my Christmas presents off at my doorstep. With Vasari paint, my paint of choice and the podcast sponsor, it's even more exciting. And let me show you why. Because when Vasari shows up, it comes in this incredible box where each tube lays in this little compartment perfectly formed around the tube in this nice soft foam. And it's surrounded by velvet, red velvet. Now you got to ask yourself, if a paint comes so carefully protected and surrounded by red velvet, you got to wonder if this paint is worthy of royalty. It is. Vasari is. So if you haven't tried Vasari, you're seriously missing out. And the thing about Vasari, it's not only the best paint out there, it's also made by an incredible company that's been around for 30 years and knows its customer by name. Do yourself a favor, go to vasaricolors.com and order yourself some for your next painting. I know, but again, you've been blessed, okay, fortunate to have all these gifts. I just broke my own rules. You've been fortunate to have all these gifts. Man, you just pay it forward, right? And just do the best that you can with it. To the point I just made though about my son, and it's interesting because I have one painting. I probably collected, I don't know, very small works. I don't have a lot of money, so I always have small works, but I've probably got 50 plus paintings that I've collected over the years. And one of those paintings, I met the artist, and I'll never mention the name. But I met the artist, I got home and I took the painting down. I can't even look at it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What happened?
Nothing.
If it's not a
Nothing.
secret?
I just genuinely could not stand that artist.
Was it stinky? What happened?
Arrogant, like just not pleasant person,
It was male artist.
I'll give you that. Yes, it was male. You rarely.
No, it's actually it's interesting, but statistically, if you're talking about arrogant artists, like 90%,
usually,
probably 95, there will be a guy. So
no, you're not wrong. I usually have female assistants because not always. I've had some incredible male students and assistants, but my experience on my 20 plus years of teaching is that statistically, for me personally, I got to be really careful. The female students they leave with gratitude and loyalty and grateful for what you taught them. The male students forget about you in 5 minutes flat and tell everyone in the world that they didn't learn shit from you and that they didn't need you in the first place.
That's funny, but I also met this saying. It's I met artists in London, so I just I went to London and I called some artists, so we got together to drink some wine, and we were talking. So there were like 5 girls or 4 girls and 1 boy, so all artists. And everyone started just, there was a nice circle. We start talking about all our uncertainties, doubts, self-criticism and all this stuff. And everyone was like, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm doing a good job, like if my art is good. And then when it was turn to speak to a guy, he said like, well, my art is awesome. I do great. You know, I'm great artist. So, and we were like all four girls. So with me it was five. We were just looking at him like, oh my God, it's so typical, you know. So you rarely see the female artists with so much arrogance. But
Yeah.
probably I just didn't meet many
Obviously,
female
there are
artists.
exceptions, and
There
yeah,
are exceptions for
and
sure.
I have to clarify that those statistics are, for me, it would be, you know, if there are 100 women and 100 men, one of the women might be arrogant and three of the men might be arrogant. It's not a major difference in my
Yeah.
experience. It's
Okay.
yeah, it's not like every male student I've had is a total jerk.
No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no. But just when you said the story, I was like 100% like it's a male. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you know what though? You know what I found over the years is that it's been really awesome. Because I'll be honest with you, when I was in my 20s, I was a little arrogant. And maybe I still am. My wife would probably say I am. But I was more arrogant in my 20s than I am now. And one thing that's been really cool, regardless of gender, that I've noticed in this podcast is really great artists tend to be some of the most humble, modest people.
true,
So
yeah.
I think just about everybody, I can't think of an exception right now.
Hmm.
So I'd have to go back and listen and look at all the podcasts, but I could say just off the top of my head, I have met nothing but humble artists on this podcast. Like it's been remarkable. And like when I go to conferences and stuff and I'm hanging out with masters, they're always so generous and humble. And
Yeah,
but
yeah.
when you get around a bunch of young people that are struggling their way to the top, I feel like
Hmm.
there's this cultural push for them to sort of scratch and pull and tear at everybody in order to climb their way up, you know? And so it's almost like a social pressure to fluff your feathers, you know, like birds do to make
Yeah,
themselves look
yeah,
bigger. Particularly
yeah.
with males, they're like, oh no, I have to tell everyone I'm hot stuff or they won't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
You know,
That's
this
true.
cultural
Yeah,
pressure. I know I felt like
yeah.
that in my 20s. Like, okay, just in case they didn't notice, I probably should tell someone that I'm awesome.
Okay. Yeah.
And then at some
I
point, I
still
realized I
have
wasn't
problems saying
awesome.
that. Oh yeah. It's the
Yeah.
reality check, right?
Yeah, it's such a reality check. Yeah. Especially nowadays when I'm getting all these 20 somethings on the podcast that are
Mhm.
freak, man. God, they're so
Yeah.
good. It's very, very humbling. Very humbling.
But you're right. Like everyone I met, like a great artist of our times. I mean, like I didn't meet everyone, but just the ones that my heroes, they were really humble. And for example, I remember meeting Jordi Alama. He's the director of Mia Museum in Barcelona and also
Hmm.
Academy. You probably saw his art, like it's insane.
I
And
think
he,
it's how do you say that name one more time?
Jordi, so it's like with Jord
Does he paint
something,
like
Jordi
figures and
Alama.
then glaze red over them?
Yeah, yeah, that was one of his
Dude, do you
series.
know this
Yeah.
guy?
Yeah, yeah, Jordi is
Can
amazing.
you
And
send him a
he
message
was,
for me and tell him to answer my messages?
oh, okay. I will see him actually in 1 week
I'm trying to
because
get
there
him on
will
the
be,
podcast.
yeah, he's real. I think he's probably not feeling super comfortable talking like in front of people, although he's a director of museum. So I will definitely tell him because next week I'm going to Barcelona for
Amazing.
the show in the museum, and my painting is going to be there. So,
Congrats.
and yeah, thank you. And he's a director of the museum, which is like incredible because he's so young and he's so damn talented. Oh God, I'm
Geez,
so
how does he have
jealous.
time to do that and paint? That's remarkable.
I feel guilty.
You always go to guilt.
Yeah, guilty.
Always to guilt. That's your
Arrest me.
default emotion. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyway, your point
I
was
don't
that this guy
know.
is super humble. I think that's where you were going, right?
Yeah.
You know why I think that is? Guys like that and women like that are so humble because I don't think you can get that good without being teachable.
Nice word. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because
And
you
just open,
right.
not being arrogant is. opposite of being open to everything that you can kind of learn and even accept that you are not good enough. I think that's also a part of being teachable, and also to have, some distance to go and to grow. Just to accept that, okay, I'm not good enough in something, or like I'm not good enough. Okay. So
Yeah, if you
let's
can't
just
see your
finish there.
flaws, you can't fix them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. How do we get into that? Men are jerks. Where do we
I
go?
don't
Where do we
know.
go from there?
Ask me anything. As
Uh,
you see, I'm super honest. So,
yeah, I
and
know. It's
I
awesome. I
love
love
being
it.
honest. I actually just, at the beginning, I was kind of thinking, when I started my Instagram, I was thinking like, I should pretend to be, like someone very suspicious, mysterious, that kind of like
I'm so glad you didn't.
artist.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I just like, I tried a little bit, and then I just realized that playing a role is so difficult, and nobody can be better than me, to be like me than me. You know what I mean? So nobody
Exactly.
can kind of be me better than me. And I'm the biggest expert in me. So if it makes sense.
That makes
So
perfect sense.
and I just decided, okay, even if I sound silly, even if I say some bullshit, and when I'm nervous, I'm saying a lot of stupid stuff. But it's just me. So, and it's the easiest thing to do. And after that, I relaxed.
Good. You mean today you came on thinking I'm going to be a little guarded?
No, it's just like at the
Just in
beginning of my
general.
art practice.
Oh,
Yeah, my
okay. Because
art
I'm like,
practice.
I thought
No,
you've been pretty consistent
yeah.
today. Okay, good. Good.
I'm playing the role.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, let's go ahead and look at some of your work
Okay.
at this point. I mean, we've
Okay.
sort of seen the
Okay.
slideshow. First
Oh,
question
oh
though.
yes.
Did
Okay.
you actually have this billboard?
Yeah, can you
Get
imagine?
out
Oh,
of town.
so yeah, I visited New York for first time last April, and I'm having my next workshop in next April in 2026 in New York. So, and I've been to Times Square, and I saw how huge this billboard is, and unfortunately I couldn't see it live, like when it was on billboard, but people send me messages and photos and
What?
saying, oh my god, it's so yellow.
How much do you think Arcadia had to pay for that? Did Arcadia
Oh,
do that?
no, it's Art Crush Gallery, and it's a digital gallery. So, okay,
Yeah,
let's
how's that work? How's that work?
come to that point how I become a full-time artist, okay? Because I think this is
Okay.
important and
Yeah.
and pretty interesting, and probably for people like you, it's not gonna be a good news, and you will probably hate me after that.
I doubt it.
But
Okay, let's hear it.
I just read in your bio that you are kind of like super traditional artist, and you don't like anything digital,
Oh, my
crypto, and
bio's out of date, by the way.
oh, okay, so
Yeah,
you
yeah,
liked
yeah.
it now.
No,
So okay,
for
okay, cool.
14 years I did everything from life, but when COVID
Oh
hit,
yeah,
now I work from photos and stuff.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
So
and just for the record,
um,
I wouldn't have judged you in that 14 years because it was my own thing. It wasn't like I was saying anyone who does photos is a hack. It was just my
okay.
own way, at the time.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But
Because I
anyway,
thought like, should I tell you the story or not? Like, will you hate me? And I don't want you to hate me.
oh, I've had artists on here that are like totally for AI, which I'm totally not into. But
Okay.
that's for
Okay.
them. Whatever. It's their thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not about AI. So it's about NFT. So you
Okay.
probably heard about that.
Oh yeah.
And actually it's about crypto.
Okay.
So in 2021, or like late 20, I was like painting my studio, and I already had my works at Arcadia Gallery and Art Gallery. So I was kind of fine, but I was not a full-time artist. So I had my job, and after the job, after like 6 p.m., I was going to sport and then to the studio and then painting till the late night, until NFT start being a thing, and it was like a boom. You remember 20,
Yeah.
like end of 2021. And it's funny because Ivan Loganov played a little role in this play. He sent me a message something like, Tanya, did you see some people are selling their JPEGs, like their pictures for money? And I was like so surprised, like who are those people who are paying money for actual pictures of your paintings? And I started like doing a research, like checking what this technology is about, this blockchain and NFT. And I'm a big fan of all technologies. So I'm actually very open to all technologies that are happening. And I think it's just a part of the, evolution, and we cannot stop it. So why, if you cannot stop it, then join it. And I started like checking what NFT is. And I minted my first picture. It was actually like a little detail of my painting, oil painting, like a close up of the face. And I minted it. And in 2 seconds, there was a first bid. And then in 10 seconds, another bid. And then it sold for 500 euros, something like that. In 15 seconds for just a picture, like even not a whole picture, a detail, I earned 2,500 euros.
Just
and
a digital file.
I know, right? So, and my jaw just like fall. And I was so excited. I remember that feeling. I was running around the house shouting, and Leo was so shocked that time. He also was not like familiar with this crypto stuff. And then I just realized, okay, this is a cool. So everyone who've been to NFTs saying that they came for money, but stayed there because of the community. And it's totally true. Like, you're going there to earn some money. That's true. We won't fake it. There was some money in 2021, 22. It was easy way to earn some money and kind of like get a stable income. And I went there for money. But then I started meeting people, like all these NFT artists, poets, singers, filmmakers who use this technology to, like sell their art, to make their art. And it was amazing, like the community that you're talking about, it was so connected in this NFT.
When you say that, was it like
NFT
chat
world.
rooms and stuff? Is that how it works?
Not only chat, yeah. So of course it was a Twitter, X right now. So
Yeah.
it was a Twitter. So everything happened on Twitter.
Okay.
And we had like from the morning till the evening. Then we had all this live chats. We called it spaces. So it was live spaces. So when you just chat with your friends and you discuss stuff. And then we just start meeting in real life. I went to LA twice for just meeting people. I went to conferences. I went to NFT summits. I met so many incredible people. And, Val Kilmer, the guy who played with Tom Cruise. And
I just watched that on Airplane yesterday.
Yeah.
The latest Top Gun. Yeah.
I have his painting. I don't know if you can see. No, you cannot see. It's on the roof, on the wall, and he actually signed it.
Wait a minute, he painted it, or?
No, I painted, then shipped it to LA. He signed it. Now it came back, and now I have paintings. And I painted him as a Jim Morrison from the movie he played Jim Morrison.
No way.
So, yeah, and I mean, like, this all could happen only in such environment as NFT and crypto. Like in traditional art world, so fast, it's impossible. For artists to be on Times Square on a huge billboard, in traditional art world, can you imagine what should I do to be there? Like if I would be just, like a traditional way of painting and just galleries, art dealers, like what I had to do to be on the billboard. But in crypto world, it was all possible. Yeah, so can you imagine? And it was not only there. It was like on the smaller billboards on Times Square. It was in Tokyo, in London, in Ghent, in like so many places. And they still display artworks around the world. So they're
that must
really
have
great.
Felt amazing.
Yeah, I mean, like, of course, I couldn't believe, and that painting that was on the billboard, it was actually in New York in Arcadia Gallery that time. So I thought
they
it was
were
a nice,
loving it.
Yeah, but it was not sold actually, so I have no idea.
Wait, did it ever sell?
It's sold actually in Portugal. So yeah.
From another gallery?
No, I sold it in my studio. It was in my studio, and sometimes I have
Jeez.
visits.
So they
Yeah, and the guy
Arcadia
was fell
didn't
in love.
sell it even though it was on the billboard at Times Square.
That's exactly, and that's how I start feeling that I'm not good enough. Like
No, no,
it
no,
just it
they're
just
not good
hit my
enough.
imposter syndrome even
They
more.
should
Like
have
I was
been on
like,
the
come
phone
on.
to every client saying, okay, just so you know, this
I don't
painting
know.
is on the billboard of Times Square. Like, if they can't
Yeah.
sell that, oh
Yeah, it
my,
was a huge help,
yeah,
right? Kind of.
seriously. And then they should have given you 90%. Holy
Yeah,
crap.
well, galleries doesn't work like that. So
No, it doesn't work like that.
yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing.
But anyway, it's
Congratulations.
it's it's a story. So it was just because of crypto and NFT and crypto community that I start feeling financially stable.
So you
And
sold
in
more than
that,
one then. You continued to sell them.
oh, I sold like hundreds of
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
pictures.
When did
And then
it
I even
when did it start to die down, or is it still going?
no, it's I think end of 22, start of 23, it started going down. We called it crypto winter when it was kind of quiet. I mean, like I was this May in NFT summit in Lisbon again, but there were like less people, and of course you can feel that the bloom is over and it's quiet now, and yeah, but I still in contact with all the
Man.
people I met there, so
Well, and you were
it's
lucky to
really
be
nice.
there and to make money when money was to be made. I mean,
Absolutely.
way to
Yeah,
go.
yeah, for sure.
See, I was stupid. I resisted it because
Mm,
not because of any, I had no opinions of it, except,
yeah.
well, let me put it this way. I had no opinions from the artist perspective. I will take people's money ethically if they're willing to give it to me. Like, I don't care if I think that they're wasting their money. If they feel good about it, I feel good about it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. But
Yeah.
I thought I would never buy an NFT. I thought it was
Mm,
like, I want a tangible piece of art. Right.
mm.
Um,
Yeah.
but I didn't think I had time. I didn't understand it, but you were smart. You got on it. Dang.
Yeah, I don't know, like if you think about the technology, it's really nice. Like if you just take away all this art and all this destruction, the
Yeah.
technology is amazing.
Yeah.
So like I first of all I fell in love with that idea of having something decentralized that is doesn't belong to a particular company or like huge or government or whatever. So I just felt that kind of there was some freedom, there was some rebellion in that kind of technology, and I really liked it. And also the people, I mean, like it was such a big community of any types of arts you can imagine, and people, it pushed so much creativity of people just to find a way how to use, let's say, poetry or music
How
or
are they
like
selling
animation.
poetry as an NFT?
Voila, I will tell you. So this Jim Morrison painting that I have,
Mm-hmm.
while I'm looking there, you don't see. Um, so the Val Kilmer, he has a couple of books, and one is "I'm Your Huckleberry,"
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's a book of poetry that Val wrote that time. And then there was another guy, Lawrence Fuller. He's a Hollywood actor, and he played, for example, David Hockney in HBO series about the TV channel. I forgot the name. Something, whatever. So Lawrence Fuller, he has amazing voice and he's an amazing actor. So we made a collaboration. So there was a poetry of Val. Lawrence was recording his voice, reading the poetry. I did the painting and animated it. So all together, it was kind of a project with the poetry, with like a beautiful animation and the portrait. And that's how people start collaborating. Different arts, just people from different art fields start collaborating together. It was about the sculptures. It was dance, music. It was such an amazing time, actually. People made such, of course there was some shitty works, but even in traditional, like go to the galleries, you see good works, or like museum also, and you see bad works, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same in NFT. It was the same. There were some good works and bad works, but the way they push creativity of people, it was really great.
That's amazing. Okay, so how did you transition into traditional painting sales?
I did it parallel, actually. So I was
who was
not
showing your
stopping,
traditional work when you were selling NFTs then?
Arcadia, for example.
Oh, right. That's right.
And
Because it
yeah,
was on the billboard. Okay. But
exactly.
okay, so let's back up then. So you were already with Arcadia when you sold the first NFT, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so we skipped over a major thing here. How did Arcadia find you? And is Arcadia even your first gallery?
Okay, so another story. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. The funny thing, and please remind me then to go back to Arcadia because my brain won't,
I will,
like
don't worry.
make that all together. I even, I have the, like I write down what I was talking about because just like 10 seconds.
You've been writing stuff down now?
Yeah.
I didn't even see you writing.
Because I'm forgetting. Yeah.
That's slick.
So when I just started painting, let's say I was like 27, I did a couple of years by improving my technique. And then my first ever show was in my garage. So it's a house in Germany and we have a garage next to it. So I opened the garage, I cleaned the walls and I put all my sketches and little paintings and copies that I did and invited all my neighbors, German grandmas and grandpas, to see the paintings. And I probably sold like one or two or something like that for like 50 or 100 euros. But there was one grandma, she's an artist, she's still alive, she's all good. She's an artist, and she invited me to participate with her in a group show in a little church in Netherlands, because Netherlands is next to us, like 5 minutes, with another grandmas and grandpas. And that time I was like, okay, sure. So I participated in this church exhibition. And there were two gentlemen working in the church, and they actually were the gallery owners, another little gallery in Netherlands. So from there, they invited me to participate in their little shows. Wow. And from there, another gallery saw my art. So that's how it, like I just wanted to show you the way that it all started. And from the little garage, like home exhibition to Arcadia, that was the steps. So
wait. The last gallery was Arcadia? Was the last gallery Arcadia? But they found me on Instagram, but I think that it still played a role because I had the shows and I had an exhibition. I made the photos of the paintings on the walls. So yeah. So you're building up your Instagram presence while you're doing this.
Yeah, how you say it correctly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Anyway, yeah. Okay, so back to gallery. What we were talking about.
Well, I asked you when Arcadia contacted you. I think you answered that. They found you what year approximately?
I think it was 2020 something, maybe 2019.
On Instagram.
Something like that. Yeah, on Instagram.
So they just sent you a message and said, we'd love to have you, in a group show?
Yeah, a group show. Okay. It was a group show, 5 under 5. I think that was the first one. And then they just started inviting me to group shows. And yeah, I met Steve actually in April. I went to Arcadia, of course, like I had a good memories about this gallery and I went there and Steve was there. So we had a nice chat and it was nice seeing him in person. And just, I'm very grateful for him because, being in Arcadia, it's kind of like another level, especially for self-taught artists and for someone who just kind of like started painting or something. So
yeah, no, that's quite an accomplishment. Seriously. Wow. Congrats.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. I was surprised. I didn't believe when I got the message and I sent a message to Denis Sarrazin. You remember Denis Sarrazin? You probably know, the Ukrainian artist. He now lives in States, I think in New York.
Oh, yeah. I interviewed him. I interviewed him.
I didn't see,
No.
I don't see.
I lost it. I still.
What?
Yes.
Oh God.
I didn't interview him. I need to tell him this, although he doesn't speak English, so he wouldn't understand it. But
he definitely speaks English now. He lives in States, so he's a New Yorker.
Wait, the landscape painter?
No. Denis Sarrazin. You remember he painted a lot of hands, and
Oh,
after
I'm
the
thinking of somebody
hands, he
else.
painted a lot of like figures, and the latest ones are connected to the war in Ukraine, like warriors on the imaginary animals or something like that.
No, I'm thinking of somebody else. I'm
I will
thinking of a
send you the
plainer
link.
landscape painter. Yeah.
No. He's definitely he painted the landscapes though, but I'm not sure if it's his main. I'm not sure if we're talking about the same person, but
No,
maybe after
probably
the.
not. God, I feel terrible though, because I'm up to like 150
You
artists.
should feel terrible. Oh
And
my
I
God.
know, seriously. And I can't keep track of their names anymore, even though I literally idolize every single person I interview. But it's too hard to, there's so many great artists out there. It's hard to manage them all. It's crazy.
Used to feel guilty.
Yeah. No, that's what I feel guilty about. The fact that I can't keep track of the people I interview. Oh man. I mean, I'll never forget your face or this conversation, but if I forget your name, just know it's due to my stupidity, not anything about our conversation.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. All right. So, all right, we're back on your website again. What's better, by the way?
Oh my God, my website, I didn't update for
all right,
like.
we'll do Instagram then. Let's do Instagram.
Yes, thanks God. Instagram is much better.
Okay.
Because I post here a lot of works like, new.
Man, do I have good news for all of you guys. We are now being sponsored by Windsor Newton. That's right, Windsor Newton, the Windsor Newton. You're probably asking yourselves, how is this good for us? I'll tell you why it's good for you, because you freaking love this podcast. And if it's good for me as the host, it's good for you because I can keep bringing you more and more episodes with their generous funding. So you're welcome from them and from me. So if you haven't heard of Windsor Newton, you're kind of living under a rock because they've been around forever. Let me show you something. You see these two old farts right here? They founded Windsor Newton back in 1832. That's like 50 years younger than the United States of America. Now, I realize for all of you Asians and Europeans and Africans and so on, that's nothing to you guys. But to us, that's freaking old. That's a long time, almost 200 years. Now, if a company that sells art supplies has been doing it for almost 200 years, you'd think they know what they're doing, and they do. And I know they do because my entire studio is full of Windsor Newton art supplies, from ink to papers to charcoal to pencils to mediums, everything. And recently, one of my guests highly recommended their watercolors, and I'm hoping to start watercolors soon. And of course, I'm going to go to them. And you should go to them too, because they're offering a 10% discount code, Undraped Artist Pod. Undraped Artist Pod. You type that in, you'll get 10% off anything you order off their website, windsornewton.com. Send them a message that you love this podcast and that we're worth investing in by using this discount code and ordering with it. Undraped Artist Pod at windsornewton.com. Go buy some art supplies. Discount code only good for 30 days from the time of this ad. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your process. I'll tell you what I already think I know. And that is, you're a very direct painter.
I am, but it started changing actually. And I think it's, Colin Berry and Wilson John. Yeah. So I met Colin in April, and I'm in love with her art and with her like as a person. I really love the way she paints, and she talked about like ébauche. I'm not sure how you call it, but it's kind of like an underpainting, slightly transparent layers of paint, but you kind of already do the whole drawing painting with this transparent layers. And then above you start applying like more thick layers and more color and opaque kind of layer. So probably I'm affected a little bit by her, because my latest, you probably see some on Instagram, but I'm not sure if they're there, but some of them are already affected by this technique. But before I was just applying direct, like alla prima, and just starting, again, because I'm a self-taught artist, it's a bit difficult to kind of stick to a traditional technique, when you just apply, for example, the lights or the shadows. I'm a little bit chaotic in my art practice. I'm slightly affected by the mood, hormones, weather, I don't know, like
What did you say,
astrological stuff.
hormones?
Yeah, like it's funny. Like people, I started having these workshops now. Like from last year, Artescape Italy invited me for the first workshop, and I was like, how should I teach people how to paint if I have no idea at that time? Now I have a system, so all good. People, if you want to come to my workshop, you're welcome. But before, I was so afraid to go to you see this close up of the face? That's what I sold my first NFT. That was my first NFT.
Oh, wow. What's it?
Yeah.
What? Tell me about these big old gashes in it.
Oh yeah, so I paint on plywood panels, this OSB pressed kind of like you use this wood in reconstruction.
Wait,
or
OSB is different than plywood. OSB is like chipboard, right?
Yeah, so it's like a particles of the wood pressed.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you can
That's
see
what you
like
paint
all
on.
this. Yes, and I paint on it.
Really?
And I have I assume that was actually the paintings that were interesting for Arcadia, because after I start posting this kind of works to galleries, one in Netherlands, a Bonner gallery, also a big gallery, and also Arcadia wrote me almost like at the same time, like in the same year it was.
No kidding.
Yeah, so I guess that kind of scene made them actually write me, because they were following me and probably waiting for, I don't know, some sign that I can do better, or I don't know how they choose it. This one is on canvas. It's my friend Ruslan from London, and I paint him pretty often. I love his mustache. Or I actually say it in a French way, moustache. Everyone is making fun on me.
This is different though. This is not quite as chunky.
That's what I'm
and
talking
thick.
about: hormones and astrological stuff and stars and atmospherical pressure and all this stuff. I don't know how it happened. I come to the studio and
Yeah, this
I
is totally
have no
different.
idea.
It looks like a different painter.
Yeah.
That looks more like
And
the
this
last
is,
one.
yeah, you see, but it was like a little sketch of him before that final kind of painting. This is another sketch. I don't know. Yeah, it's, I think that it's because I'm not painting for a long time. So I have my own weird system in my head, like how I'm painting. Oh, this is actually where I'm painting Ruslan.
Wait,
So
is
yeah,
this the one you want me to pull up?
No, but this is also actually probably a nice example of close up, how I like
Look
use
at
the
those
colors.
colors.
I know, it's like crazy, right? I
Love
love
it.
bright colors. I try to mute them a little bit right now, because I've read somewhere in some historical art book that when artists are using, and I think it was Repin or Sirov who said that when artists are using bright colors, it means that they're kind of not good in colors. So they're kind of like just saturate everything. And I felt so shameful. So right now I'm trying to
I don't know.
Maybe it was
I
that
get
time.
frustrated.
I
I get frustrated with those broad statements. I read a book when I was first starting out in painting, and the author of the book made a lot of broad statements like that. One of the things he said is, if you don't paint really thick, you're not a painter, you're a colorer.
Oh.
And I do paint fairly thick, but I just remember, it didn't even apply to me, but I just remember thinking of Bouguereau at the time and being like, so this guy is saying that, who's nowhere near the artist of Bouguereau, is saying Bougueau's not a painter. You just got to be careful with those broad statements. I just don't buy it. Is it
the guy from this time? So is it from like the past?
It's a living artist who said that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I probably read a lot of old books, and that's a problem, because like time changed, the styles changed, and
but here's the thing:
that's my
you
mistake.
can be subtle with color. Look at you choose not to be.
When I'm trying to kind of control myself, but at the same time, like I really like this kind of, and Oh my God, my brain is like, poo, 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 poo. I remember like I talked with Steve from Arcadia, and he actually suggested me to render my paintings more, like to have more like finished look.
Hmm.
And probably this is one of the
I'll bring it back.
influence of when I'm trying to be more kind of finished, like a finished look, more softer transition in shadows and lights, and I don't know, like more classical
What do
kind of.
you like more?
I would love to get so crazy as I just, I would just get, I love Philippe Malavin. Let me show you, or maybe I will. How do I show you? It's on
I
my
can
mood
pull it
boards.
up. What? Do you want me
Yeah,
to look somebody up?
Philippe Malavin is like, it's a Russian artist. It's PHI.
LIP.
Yeah, and
How do you
then
spell?
Malavin is like MYL. Oh my God, I'm so bad. Wait, I need to write it. MA LYAVIN. Malavin, but probably the Google will have a different. So you will see a peasant Russian women. Yeah, okay, something like that. So let's see pictures. And let's press the huge red one you see on the, no, maybe not this one. On the third row, like, yeah, this one probably.
This one that looks like
yeah, or lower is, yeah, probably it has. So this, yeah, like this. Okay, so this painting is like, I don't remember exactly, but I think it was like 5 or 6 meters. Like it's a huge painting of.
Whoa, there's a head in there.
Yeah, it's a
Oh, I can't even see it at
women
first.
dancing like crazy. Like Philippe Malavin is one of my favorite artists. If you would see his paintings in live, like if you would go like Moscow, St. Petersburg to see his paintings
Yeah.
of the peasant women, God, it's a lot of energy. This like color fields, and at the end you only see the hairs or the hands, but it has
Wow.
such
Yeah, that's really
energy.
cool. I want to see
Yeah,
that face.
if you scroll a little bit low, I think there should be another peasant women, like, yeah, like this, but
Oh,
probably
that's
this one is
pretty.
slightly saturated. I have this painting on my mood board in front of me, but it's not that saturated probably. So it's in real life is slightly less saturated.
I can.
Yeah, but
I can
yeah,
see why you like this artist. It's really cool.
Yeah, oh my God, if you see it in life, you would be standing in front of it like for like hours.
So is this artist?
It takes you in.
Is this artist past or?
Yeah. It's kind of like from same cool kids like Repin, Korovin, Serov. So it's from that time.
Okay, so back to my original question then. What?
Oh right, I forgot it already.
What would you rather do? What Steve from Arcadia wants you to do, or what you were doing before?
Oh, yeah, it's a good question. I feel like I need to express something like more emotional, more expressive. I have something to, to move my brush more kind of emotional way, and I feel it. Like if you see probably some of the latest works, maybe above a little bit. If you go front.
Which one?
Yeah, like even the second one.
Here?
Up. No, on the first row, like a second one. Yep, like this one. Yeah, okay, maybe not a good example because I'm not showing how I'm finishing it with oil bars. I'm using oil bars.
Oil
and
bars?
I'm just
You mean like oil sticks?
Yeah, like oil sticks. Oh, I call it because the guy from Dardeco, Leonel, from where I'm having my oil bars, the Portuguese brand that I'm really love to paint with. So he has this name for oil sticks, oil bars.
Yeah.
So
I can't believe you paint on OSB.
Fingers.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my gosh.
It's such a nice surface. You should definitely try it.
You don't even gesso it?
No, I prepare it.
With what?
Sure
Some sort of clear varnish?
Yeah. So first, you need to sand it, because it has some layer of resin or something, like some stuff. It covered with some like chemical thing. So you need to kind of sand it until it will be matte. And then you need to, put something like wood and sand. There are some mixture that you put in the holes of the wood, like to
Oh,
cover
just
the
some sort of
holes.
putty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So just to cover this hole so it won't be that rough. And,
Yeah.
like if you, for example, paint an eye area on that part, it's going to look weird. And then you just, cover it with some transparent gesso because I really love the color of the wood.
Check you
So in
out,
this video,
pawing with
you
your
probably
fingers.
don't.
You're
Yeah,
just finger painting.
that's Ivan Loganov's influence because he
Really?
uses a lot of hands. Yeah, like he uses a lot of fingers, like cleaning here, adding there. So yeah. And
Yeah.
also, like I love to use the brush. When I'm using the brush, I use it like I saw that students from my workshop, they noticed that I'm using it like a calligraphical brush. So I'm turning it while I'm painting. I never noticed it myself, but I'm kind of like when I'm leading the line, I kind of turn it all the time. I'm changing the grip, if you would say it from tennis kind of, words. So I'm changing the grip all the time, and it's kind of like appear and disappear and appear and disappear. So it's kind of like a be water, my friend, as Bruce Lee would say.
No, yeah, I do the same. Like,
Oh, that paint is paint with oil sticks, like
yeah, it almost
so
looks like
completely.
pastel.
Yeah. So you see, I'm
Beautiful.
still experimenting. It feels like I still search for my artistic voice. I still look for what I want to express, how I want to express, and it's kind of like it's happy moments and also sad moments. Happy because I really love to explore all this and kind of like invent new stuff. I'm coming to the studio, I don't know what I will find out with this kind of painting, where it will lead me. And at the same time it's sad because I feel like I need to express more and I want to say something, but it feels like my tools are not enough, so I
Your tools
just
meaning
it's
your skill set?
yeah, my probably, like a collection of my tools. So it's not about the skill set, it's about like imagine that I have different tools in front of me, right? And I'm using probably 10%.
I can't tell if you're speaking in an analogy or if you're speaking literally. Do you mean literally like I have a brush and a palette knife or
No,
you
it's like
say tools as
analogy
in your
to,
skills?
yeah, like a skill. So how I
Okay.
use the
Okay.
color or how I use the brush stroke, like maybe I need to take a huge brush, like like huge, and
Yeah.
probably need to paint with that. I just don't know that yet, like I'm still kind of trying to figure out that. And it's amazing because it's kind of a journey, but at the same time it gives a lot of pressure. Like every morning I wake up with that weird feeling inside, that I have to tell something, but how? What do I do? Like, what tool I should use? What color? What format of the canvas? It should be canvas, should be paper, OSB panel. Like all these questions are just like bombarding me like every day. So that's
That
why I'm
you just
mentally sick.
summarized why painting is so hard, in my opinion, is
Right.
because I suppose other things are this way too, to a point, but it seems like painting is this way to the extreme, in that every time you accomplish something, the goalposts seem to move.
Right. Yep.
Where it's like,
Yeah. It's like catching a big fish.
I can't, there's always a bigger one. Like, I can't,
Mm-hmm.
so you've already obviously accomplished a lot, but yet you feel like there's so much more ahead of you that's just a big mystery
All
and you don't even know
right.
how to
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah. Like there's always a better painting in future,
Right.
like you can always do better. And also it gives a pressure as well, right? Like to you as an artist, because you feel that you're not reaching the level. But again, I love reading like old books and I see it everywhere. For example, right now, and I would recommend this book to everyone who wanna find out why artists are so weirdly self doubting themselves and self-critical. this book. I don't know if you heard about this. Born Under Saturn.
Mm-mm.
Saturn, the
Saturn,
planet.
the planet.
Saturn. Yeah, Born Under Saturn. So it's amazing book. It actually by using diaries, memoirs, and all these little letters from the past, from the antiquity till the late Renaissance, or I think even Rococo, it actually explores and do the research of why artists are like this. Like, so it's really interesting book. I think you will find it very like formative for this topic.
Yeah, I'll
So
definitely have to
everyone
look
who's
that up.
having Born Under Saturn, God, I got it wrong.
Yeah,
all the time.
I wonder if it's in Audible. That's how I get all my books these days.
It is. It's probably going to be slightly difficult to listen to it because my books they're all, I underline everything. So my books look like a madman, notebook. So I just love to underline, and probably because I have bad memory, so I need kind of like
do you go
reread
back
the
to
book.
the things you underlined, or is it more of a ritual
That's
thing?
my trick. No, that's my trick because I have a bad memory. I think it's part of some, like health issues. I'm not sure, but I need kind of to read the book. I underline the main things that I find interesting, or kind of like a main idea, and then I reread the book by just reading that what I underlined.
You do that?
Yep, and also I do the notes. So it takes me a long time to read a book, if you imagine.
Wow, that's great advice because I have terrible memory. So maybe I'll try that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's helpful. It's really helpful.
Yeah, I could read a chapter of a book and I can remember the concepts, but all the names and places and dates. Actually, no, dates I'm good. Anything numerical, I'm good. But all the names and places, I'm like, forget it.
Oh yeah.
Gone.
Even sometimes I just read the book. I read the little paragraph, and then I'm reading it. I'm finishing, and I'm like, what did I just read about? Like, so I need to read it again. So that's how bad it is.
Oh yeah, I feel your pain.
But I've noticed that it's only with like a specific books. For example, it's art books or like art history books. If I'm reading some novel or something very light, like Ishiguro, something like, I love Japanese literature, so kind of like that. So it's easy, and then you just remember all the story. But when it's specific professional literature, then I'm like, oh my God, my brain capacity is not enough.
Well, you're one step ahead of me because I'm that way with everything.
Okay.
Do you know what the ACTs are?
I know what is ADHD. Is it something
No,
closer
ACT.
to that?
It's a test that we take in America after high school.
Oh, okay.
And I actually took the
didn't know that.
SATs because I'm from back east in New York. And I took when I took the ACTs, I don't know how they are now, but it was separated, if I remember right, into science, math, and English, or science, math, and English, which would be like reading comprehension, all that kind of stuff. I'm really good relatively good with math and science because they're conceptual, like, and I'm good with understanding concepts. But my memory sucks, so the English is terrible because I can't remember just facts and information. So what was funny was I got through the math and science, and then I noticed someone playing soccer outside, and I just stared at them, and an entire hour went by. Half of the test time went by, and the alarm went off, and I realized that the minute the English and reading portion started, I stared out the window, and I never stopped staring out the window for over an hour. And I missed half of the test.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous.
It's so bad.
I love it.
It's so good that I became an artist, not because I'm incompetent, I hate that stereotype, but because I need to be self-employed. Like I was so not interested in the rest of that test. I'm like, ooh, someone kicking a ball around. That's interesting.
Oh my God. I have the same. I actually really happy that I'm an artist because I can actually like literally just close the door and be in my studio and do shit, like do nothing, like that
Yeah.
nobody will notice, because all my friends, they know when they start telling me some story, they have 10 to 15 seconds my attention. And then they know this. I look at
Oh, that's
them like,
funny.
but in my head, I already, like the boy plays soccer or something like that, I'm already like out. So I imagine all the time.
Well, you'd be a terrible
you remember,
podcaster. Fortunately, I don't
I
have
know.
that problem.
That's why I'm writing down everything. It's just like you asked me the question, and you remember I already several times asked like what was the question about, because I
That's
went with
great.
my online.
Well, you know what? So stop with the guilt, because you've got your own weaknesses to deal with. We all. So enjoy the things you've been blessed with, because you've got your own problems.
Oh my God. Yeah. No, it's horrible. But I saw that Sigmund Freud, he was actually like checking the Leonardo da Vinci in some of his not article, but research about Leonardo da Vinci. And apparently Leonardo da Vinci also had some troubles with like focusing, and did a lot of sketches because he was not going to the main work, and all this stuff. So when you see these guys like Leonardo da Vinci were like, procrastinating or self-doubting himself. So I'm thinking like, okay, if he could do that, I'm not even near, so I definitely can
There
do
you
that.
go.
So
I totally relate to Da Vinci. I feel like a dumb version of him. And just because, oh my gosh, no one can compare themselves to Da Vinci, but I have so many hobbies, so many things that I'm constantly wanting to be doing. And it's really hard for me to stay focused. And I'm sure Da Vinci was the same way. I mean, his clients would always say he could never get anything done. Like, oh my gosh, finish the damn painting,
Yeah, but what helps definitely is sport. And like whenever I talk with any artist, I see you do sport, right? Like you look really sporty, yeah. But at least like the shape is there. I can see even from here, your like shoulders, the muscles are there. So it's really nice. But I found out that any sport is so helpful, just to recharge your mind, reset your mind, and also finding some kind of philosophy in other sport that helps you to use it in your art practice, that it teaches you sometimes to focus, a discipline that it's a problem among artists, right? The discipline. It teaches you to calm down when you need. And so I start playing tennis and surf, and
surfing too.
Yeah. Well, you will ask me again now when I find the time.
That's amazing. Well, and you've got a double bonus, because my only sport now is weight training, which is not that often. I mean, I do it every week, but it's not like a bodybuilding weight training, just enough to stay healthy. And I do it for the endorphins, just like mental health, because it's a natural endorphin booster. And, but then also going outside does the same thing for a lot of people. So something like tennis and surfing, that's got to be so good for your mind, to be out in the ocean and getting exercise at the same time, or out in the sun.
No, tennis. I found out that tennis is such a controversial sport. It blew my mind, because you have to be focused but relaxed. You have to hold the grip strongly but flexible. You have to be fast but slow. So like all these controversial things just teaching me so much, just like kind of balance between good and bad, like chaos and harmony, like everything. It's just such a meditative sport. Although it's very active and everything, but you need to focus on this little yellow ball all the time, like, and all your mind should do is just focus on this little point, which is like absolutely amazing for anyone who has problems like me, just not be able to focus. So I really love tennis. I try to play 3 to 5 times per week, and I have racket here, I have the balls here, so I'm just like
that's
playing
great
against the wall.
That's great. Have you tried archery?
What's that?
Like bow and arrow?
Oh no, I didn't
Oh
try. Is it
man.
something like a Japanese huge
Well, just, just a bow
um
and arrow, like just,
okay.
like a bow, shooting an arrow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got it. Okay,
Well,
so just a normal simple one.
well, yeah, but no, but like I use compound bows. Do you know what a compound bow is?
No.
Here, I'll show you real quick.
Yeah.
Because I think it's
I'm just
relevant to what you were just
switching
saying.
my yeah, just so you know, like it's just because my one headphone is dead, so I'm like
Oh,
charging
no
it and
worries.
switching
Yeah.
to another. So I hope the sound is fine.
It's great. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So this is basically a compound bow right here. Hold on. So that's a compound bow.
Oh my
Okay.
God, it looks so complex. Holy
It is, but it's a very simple sport in that when you were talking, it was reminding me of just how archery does all the same stuff. It's a lot less athleticism than tennis,
mm-hmm.
but I freaking love archery because I'm like riddled with anxiety about my painting and about family
Yeah.
life and about everything. Like the house is falling apart. So much going on in life. And the
Yeah.
problem with painting is you have so much time to think. And so it's one of those wonderful hobbies that's also torturous because like I'll find myself in front of a painting for 5 hours just thinking about all the crap that has to get done at home or, just stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
with a sport like archery, you literally all you can think about, and this is why I thought of it because of tennis. You were describing just focusing on the ball. All you think about is those 3 little pins and just lining them up with the target just perfectly and holding steady, just absolutely steady. And it's the only time that I really can think of that my mind is completely clear and I don't think about
Right.
anything else.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's such a gift. I don't do it enough though. I do it like once a month. I probably should do it more.
Oh, yeah, it's not enough, especially if I
Yeah.
can hear that you're talking about this with such a, inspiration and feels like it does you good. So
Yeah.
definitely do more.
I think we all need something like that. Something, if you can find something to just clear your mind of all the crazy every now and then,
Yeah.
it's good. It's good for you.
Yeah, so I like whenever, especially like a young artist or some, like artists who start being an artist, I usually suggest them to find some sport that they will love, probably not as much as art because it's impossible, like it's another level, but something that you will so enjoy and it will be absolutely different kind of activities for your brain. And also we need the muscles, just stay here.
Mhm.
I don't know if you have some problems with your back, but just standing in this position all the time.
Not yet, thank goodness. I've been lucky.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Maybe your weightlifting
I
is
don't
probably
know. I've been
helping you,
lucky
but
in that
okay,
area,
because
but
I have constantly problems with my
oh,
back.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, no, I've been really lucky in the back part. Every now and then something will act up, but it's temporary. It'll go for a week and then not for another year. Weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right about the sport thing. And the thing is about having a hobby, like it's interesting what you just said. You'll never find something you love more than painting, but you'll also find something that you don't hate as much as painting because
That's right.
because painting is like the most complicated relationship where you just adore it, but you despise it at the same time. Whereas something like tennis and archery, you're not invested enough in it. Like you don't have to be the next great tennis star. You don't have to.
True, yeah.
If you come home and you didn't, perform quite as well, it's not going to break your soul like you do when you come home from the studio and you bombed a painting.
Well, I once lost a tournament. You would need to see me. I was
Well,
crying
see,
in my
I'm not
studio
doing
for like
tournaments. I'm just shooting at a target. That's maybe the difference. But it's just nice to have something that you can love and not hate, whereas painting, it's just this opposite extremes, but
yeah, and also like I guess we are making it like difficult ourselves.
mhm.
We imagine some perfect image in our head. I don't know if it's like about you or not, but sometimes I have an idea for a painting and I already imagine how great it will be, like you don't see even the visual picture, you don't see the clear image of it, but in your like brain it's perfect, you know? So,
Mm-hmm.
and whenever you do the first touch on the canvas, it's wrong. Like it never can be the same perfection that you somehow imagine or like have a feeling in your brain. So it's so weird, like being so close to like, you know, to something that you want to create, but not getting there all the time. It's, I don't know, like it doesn't make sense what I'm trying
Oh,
to say.
totally. It's like you
Okay.
start with this blank canvas and it's got all the potential in the world. And then
Yeah.
you make your first mistake. And from that
And
point
it's
on,
like,
it's like chasing your tail. You're like just trying to keep it
right.
under control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's difficult, but and we are doing that difficult, you know, because we are giving all the pressure on ourselves. I start having this rule whenever I'm going to the studio, I just say, okay, I'm gonna do shitty paintings today. Like I'm just gonna have some weird stuff. It's not gonna be good, but I'm gonna just have fun. I will be into process, not into the final product. And this is probably one of the biggest mistake that artists do, is that they think about the final product, you know, like the final painting, and really forgetting about the process and how fun it is. And like art is a verb, really, like you just need to enjoy each and every brushstroke. And I remember about this every time I'm getting sick, or I don't know, like for example, I got cold recently and I was like laying in my bed, I didn't have stamina to go to the studio, and all I wanted actually is to paint. I didn't want to paint a final, you know, like I didn't imagine that I'm finishing the painting. I wanted to paint, you know, like not that final point, but actually being in the process and just being
Mm-hmm.
able to be in the studio. And when you get sick, you actually remember about like how precious are these moments when you're doing mistakes, when you're struggling, but you're painting, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's totally true. It's almost like eating. It's just, you just need it. No, you just need it. It's like, it's,
Okay, okay, I got it.
you know, it's our breathing. Like, you know, I don't know. I just came back from a week vacation at my mother-in-law's and with my family, and God, my wife was dragging me all over the place. Not dragging me. I enjoyed it. It was fun. But by the end of the week, I'm like, Jen, you got to give me one day. Like, just let me paint for one day. Because it was her home where she grew up. So she's like, I want to go here. I want to go there. Great. But at the last day she gave to me to just sit on the front porch of this old Victorian house and just like paint the neighbor's house, or like, you know, the little jack-o'-lantern on the porch and whatever. And oh God, it was so relaxing. It was so great. Like,
Yeah,
I was
we're
having a good
different
time, but
species.
I was starving for that 6 days. I couldn't do anything creative. It was
You
brutal.
know, it's funny in where is that? I found in Germany in one museum. I found this little
What? That is so
pencils.
funny.
They're so cute and so small. You can sharpen them and erase. But I have it like I bought several and I put in all my bags
That's
with
great.
tiny sketchbooks. So like, you know, like this is a normal, you know, thing that I have in my bag. So it's a tiny sketchbook. And also, I don't know, like what you do, like if sometimes I have no idea what I paint, I just do some kind of like a color. Just
I
I
just
just
draw stuff. I wish I was more like that. That's
no,
great.
it's just, you know, I also try to do stuff like I don't know, some
That's so
stupid
great.
cats or like a portraits. But sometimes if my brain is completely empty, I just I just do like some weird
Just
color
doodle. Yeah,
doodles, and it helps. It already helps just being in the process.
that's great. Okay, so you've listened to the podcast, obviously, so you know what the final question is. The problem is you just gave a bunch of advice, so I'm going to ask you if you can give one more piece of advice to aspiring artists.
Yeah. So I probably for this one, for the final one, I will choose the tweet, oh, you know, like from the past, from
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Saltz, that I had a pleasure to meet in Madrid a
Mm-hmm.
couple of months ago, and it helped me a lot. So I guess like to a young artist or anyone who starts, or even like a professional artist, it probably will be helpful. Um, so for me, it was always a difficult part because I was always overthinking. You know, this joke like I'm overthinking, but am I overthinking enough? So And this tweet really helped me because it was written something like, artists always think what other people think about them or their art. And the truth is, nobody's fucking thinking about you. And that's so true. It helped me so much just to realize that if you think about even scrolling someone's art, how long you will see their artwork on Instagram? Probably a second, and then you scroll. So everything that you wanna create, everything where you think what people will think about this, just take the pressure out of you. Like, you know, create whatever you want, do whatever you want, because everyone is so busy with their own lives and they're not thinking about you. So I think it was that time, it was so helpful for me to just take the pressure from me and just do what I love and create what I love without thinking what other people will think about this. So I don't know if
that is good advice. That's true.
It's probably a little bit too kind of easy one. I don't know.
It's a good one. I have mixed feelings about it. I'll be honest with you. So on one hand, it is comforting because it's like, why are you stressing so much about what people think? That's great. But as an artist, you kind of want people to be looking at you at some point. You have to make a living, right? So
yeah, but at the same time, you don't want to create for like, I mean, like we probably as artists, we don't want to create to the audience. We wanted to create what is inside of us and just, you know, like translate it into the oils or any medium that you're using. So like what you think matters, right?
Right.
So the final product, you just give it like as a baby. You have the baby, you show it to the world. Like, this is a baby I created. You like it or not, but this is a baby I created, the most beautiful baby. So I don't like it now to
you know what? I love that. I'm glad that you brought up the baby because that is the perfect analogy in my mind. I'm reminded of a time I was sitting in church one Sunday and this family in front of me, this was many years ago, this family in front of me had the ugliest baby you've ever seen in your life.
Oh my God, you'll burn in hell for that.
No, I'm sorry, and even God appreciates this one. Like, I'm just kidding. I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, it was horrifying. This kid kept looking over the pew at us, and I was just like, oh, I didn't know this was possible. I didn't know this was possible. But you know what? The parents were living in ignorant bliss. They just adored that baby. And like, if we could only live that way in our own studios and not be concerned about the family behind the pew behind us,
right?
Thinking how ugly our kid is and just love what we do just for this.
God, it's such a weird analogy.
It's so weird, I know. But oh my gosh, how would it be to live in that kind of ignorant bliss about our own work? You know?
But right? I mean, like, you still need to, okay, like if we're talking about the, you know, analogy as a baby, so you still kind of want to make this baby to grow up a good person, a part of society, a good member of, you know, other people's species and stuff like that. So you kind of do everything you can to make this baby grow beautifully. And I don't know where I'm going with that.
Yeah. That analogy is a little twisted. I get it. But no, but the point is, like, you still, even though you still need to love what you do, even though you see all of its flaws.
Exactly.
Right?
And also not to think what people will tell you. Because if you're already like thinking about like what people will tell you about your art, so how you can even start making it if you're already under this pressure of what people will think. So like overthinking is nice, but probably in art, you just need to close all this reality stuff and just get inside your unconscious and just create and be in this creative kind of process. Yeah. I don't know, like it's probably, it just helped me at that time.
Speaking of guilty, now I feel guilty because I slaughtered your piece of advice with my stupid baby comment.
It was actually really awful. So saying that all babies are good.
No, you haven't seen this one. You haven't seen this one. It was bad.
Like not all creation are beautiful. So some
Oh man.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a blast. It was super fun having you on the podcast.
Thanks a lot.
I'm really grateful that you came. Thanks a ton for that.
Enjoyed it so much, and I actually have pain now in my
From
cheeks
smiling
because
too
I
much?
loved. Yeah, it's just so much fun. It was like,
Yeah,
oh my
it was
god,
a
I need
blast.
to relax now.
So I'm going to take you up on that Portugal invitation. One of these days, I'm going to be calling you and saying, "Hey, I'm headed to Portugal. Let's hang out."
I was not joking. No, really.
Good.
Like, yeah,
That'll be
definitely
awesome.
serious about that.
That'd be awesome. All right, thanks again.
Thanks for tuning in to the Undraped Artist Podcast. If you enjoyed it, subscribe. And if you could, leave a comment or review. That really helps the channel. Please share the show with your friends, and if you're feeling generous, consider a monthly donation at theundrapedartist.com. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next week.